All right, so we're picking up with part 2 of our Friday, October 3rd autumn garden tour. If you are just tuning in, be sure to go back and catch the first part of the tour. And we're going to leave, I call this my butterfly pollinator garden, hummingbird garden, because I do have a feeder here. This was pollinator central just 2 months ago. Butterflies galore, hummingbirds all the time. I do still have 3 hummingbirds, so they probably won't be here though much longer, maybe another 7 to 10 days. But I'm very happy that I have lots of things blooming still that they like. So I think that is a good thing. So pardon my mess. I need to get out here and do the leaves and move these little light up pumpkins that blew over. So, the autumn garden kind of has its own beauty. Big Bertha, my big tree, she's thinning out. They all are. But the autumn garden has its own beauty. Very different from summer, but I enjoy it in all seasons. Although, honestly, I do feel a little sad seeing things that were super bushy kind of, dying out now. But, again, it's part of the whole seasons of life. Oops, sorry, I had a bee on me. And, oh, no, that's not a bee, that's a spider web. Sorry. Hold on just a moment. I mentioned earlier the Doro spiders have been a nightmare here. And there's the big web, so there we go. I literally, every day I take a big pole and I knock down spider webs to try to protect my hummingbirds and butterflies and bees. Fat Albert here, I feel like he's actually put on some new growth. He was looking not super puny, but just maybe not as vigorous as he did, but maybe that's normal for this time of year. He's my pride and joy. I love this conifer, and so hopefully he will continue to thrive. Another Forever Goldie. It has done very well here. And now you can kind of see the back side of this garden. Arctic Red Salvia. This is always very vigorous. This is my 4th or 5th year with this. I did move this autumn Rebecca because this stuff gets big, and I'm not sure that it will stay there, but I did move it temporarily here for the rest of the season. Got some other things petering out here. My hibiscus, summerific. This is my purple cascade butterfly bush. And I didn't think it was going to make it last year, but it has just exploded since August. This thing was covered in blooms. Again, just 2 weeks ago. I really should have made this video 7 to 10 days ago. But it just seems like autumn's creeping in quickly. Life gets busy, and here we are. This is Texas sage, something. Very vigorous. I would recommend this. The hummingbirds do like this. I see them in this a lot. So I do not think this will overwinter for me. So if it doesn't make it, I would like to get some more. And I got this from Select Seeds. All right, let's keep going around this way. My red dragon, little Japanese maple, which still looks pretty small. But this is new growth here. And if you had seen it this time, I got it last year. I got it on clearance. I didn't think it was going to make it. I do think I'm going to move it to a shadier part of the garden, although it's pretty shady right now, but this gets a lot of afternoon sun. So we'll be doing that. Again, it's kind of interesting in the autumn garden. Some things have performed extremely well all season. Some were great the first half and terrible this second half. Some were terrible the first half and awesome the second half. So I've definitely learned a lot this year as a gardener, and I've got a lot of thoughts on what I want to do with different parts of the garden moving forward into next year. So I'm planning to enjoy this to the end of its season, but it's also exciting to really be thinking even more intentionally now about next year. All right, let's keep going. Sorry, try not to talk your ears off. You can see the backside of this Ruby Dazzle. Again, it had gotten really tall, and then I had that storm in the summer. It knocked it down. So we cut everything back. One of them even got knocked out, and I just literally stuck it back in the dirt, and it kept going. So, you know, you can't beat that. But this has actually turned out to be nice, a nice recovery. Another Pugster butterfly bush. This was a type, I forget, no, what is this called? This is a type of coleus, but I don't think it's King's. No, this is King's torch, I think. Also a better view of this, I think this is Anna's fuchsia. Highly recommend. You can see some more dragon's breath that's self-seeded late in the season here. Again, got some nice shrubs back here. Some of these may get moved. Again, I'm kind of rethinking, you know, my whole plan here. I'm hoping that these smooth hydrangeas I planted are going to make it. They seem to be recovering, and hopefully come spring they'll be spectacular. I did not expect the Rockin' Blue Salvia to flourish here. I'm shocked, and it's still doing great. So I'm not sure if I'll keep the hydrangeas here or not. I need to think about that. And then I had some Arctic Pink Salvia, which is actually doing really well now. Again, I thought that I had lost these smooth hydrangeas, but they seem to be rebounding, so that's good. Again, you can kind of see the back side here. My Carolina cypress. We ended up shovel pruning the roses here. I was a big rose grower my entire life, but the last year or so, the David Austin roses in particular just do not do well for me. I love them, and when they are great, they're great, but I'm at a point in my life, I want things that are going to look good as much of the season as possible, and they just don't fit that on my checklist anymore. So I've got quite a few I'm giving away or just shovel pruning if I think they're not healthy. So this is going to be a whole new bed of stuff next year. I don't know what yet. But speaking of stuff, check this out. This is spectacular. I think this is Inferno, and then something else I got from the Inferno was on clearance at Home Depot, and then I forget the other came from Select Seeds. I am letting them flower now for the pollinators. This moon dust, this got kind of leveled a little bit by a storm, but it's rebounded quite nicely. Love it. I will definitely do it. This was recommended by Bruce Duncan that you may have seen on the S&K Greenhouse Nursery videos. And then these mums were from last year, which is kind of cool. And kind of see the back side of the garden that you saw in the first half. This is some assorted coleus, some fuchsia, and the red-headed coleus, which is my favorite coleus. I will be doing more of that. The Surefire, no, these are dragon wing begonias. These were gifted by my neighbor. I plan to get more of these as well as the Surefire. So the Surefire and the dragon wing. I mean, look at that, y'all. That's like incredible. And I've got another pot too. Bear with me. And again, pardon the mess. I never did get around to mulching and my pine straw, so now here come the leaves. So hopefully next year we will get everything repine strawed the way that I had planned to do this year. You know how it is as gardeners. I do want to show you the front side of this. I mean, I will definitely do more moon dust next year. This was the first time I'd grown it, and I did not know what to expect. And then this thing's just massive. Plus, there's autumn fuchsia in it. But, I mean, look at that, y'all. I mean, that's in like a 20-inch pot. I'm not wild about the color, but it is nice to have something pretty bushy here. So, I'm not sure that I will do these again, even though they are for sure super massive. But, you know, we'll see. But I definitely will do the moon dust. I love this. And I think it looks really pretty with the dragon wing begonias. Some more mums that made it over the winter from last year. This was a Japanese maple I moved. It was in that part of the garden, and then we moved it here. This is a Crimson Queen, and already I think it's happier here. I think it was a little bit too hot over there. Again, you can see the Dragon's Breath. You'll also notice some empty pots, as well as some clippings that I've not cleaned up yet. I ended up shovel pruning the crepe myrtles. They did not perform any better in the sun, so they got the heave-ho. This is a rose that I will keep forever until it dies. Again, we pulled out some more Suncredible sunflowers here. They, again, were great the first half. Second half, terrible. So this is some you saw the rockin' blue salvia earlier. Now, I want to draw your attention to this because look at this fuchsia. This has not bloomed all year until now, and maybe it's just like too hot here in the south. But oh my gosh, look at that. This came from Select Seed, as did the red-headed coleus, I might add. I hope they carry it next year because nobody else around here does. I will be getting more of that. I'm thinking I'm going to put a Gatsby pink hydrangea in this pot. We'll see. All right. So let's go over now to the rest of the garden. And we'll start here. So I cut back my Blue Fortune a little bit earlier, which it bloomed earlier this year. Peaked earlier, so therefore I cut it back earlier. And this is a very nice second flush, especially for this late in the year. The bees love it. You can never go wrong with Blue Fortune. Some more Dragon's Breath Celosia. Again, I got this at Lowe's. And hopefully it will self-seed, and then I will have even more next year. That is a big goal of mine, is to have more Dragon's Breath. More Rockin' Blue Salvia. This has been very popular with the Hummers. Some more of the Mexican salvia. I did not think this was going to do well over here at first. And I've had this over here in the past and it's done great. It was kind of iffy. But this got a nice stretch of sun for about more afternoon sun for 4 weeks. And I guess that was just enough to give it a boost along with a little Miracle-Gro. And then I think this was the Velveteen. These are all proven winners Lime Time. I do like the Lime Time. This has just now started to look leggy. It's October, y'all. I mean, look at it. I have no complaints, but I had some in another pot and it looked horrible leggy. And you can see back here, again, it's kind of gotten leggy and it's just now started to bloom. I kept everything cut back to keep the bushy form. So I think the trick with this is you probably need to plant it in something low or underplant it. If the legginess bothers you like it does me. I do like the color. I just don't like the form. So maybe I'll underplant it more next year and not put it in anything where, like I'd put it back here, not realizing it would get this big because it complemented my Japanese maple back in the spring in April. And we've moved some things around here. I just noticed I have some Cosmos. I have no idea where that came from. The Autumn Rebecca is finishing out Japanese maple. Again, some more of that coleus. And again, it won't make it through the season. There was a ton of color here. Both of these butterfly bushes, which I'll show you closer in a minute, they were covered in blooms again just a week ago. They're reloading though, so I'll probably get one more good flush. Oh, here comes Hummingbird. Oh, no, she's going that way. This shrub, I think this is a lemon something cypress. It's doubled in size. It has done great, knock on wood. I hope it continues to thrive. A Pugster Pink butterfly bush is reloading. Campfire coleus. This is my second favorite coleus. This and the red-headed. But I mean, can you see why it's called Campfire? It is like phenomenal. And look, it's a beast. And it's actually not in, it doesn't fill up this 20-inch planter. It's actually in a teeny tiny one. And I ended up having to put it in here to keep it from tipping over. It's actually in a small planter. So I have no idea how it got this big in such a small space. But I like the Campfire better than the Sedona. I feel like there's just something more vibrant. So again, Select Seeds, I will be getting that again next year. Again, the Cosmos petered out. It looked great for a month and then kind of, This is another type of, I think this is Honeybell Vermillionaire. I am not impressed at all. I will not be getting that again. All right, we'll come back over here in just a minute. You can see I've done a lot of shovel pruning. We got rid of another crepe myrtle here. Got rid of some sunshine ligustrums because I don't have any place that gives them the sun they need. And then I had a couple of Dream Velveteen coleus. They've just gotten way too leggy. So we just try to get ahead of things and clean stuff out to be getting ready for next year, especially if I end up getting anything that I may plant in the next week or two, although I probably won't plant till spring. Some more coleus here, another Forever Goldie. This Japanese maple, I'm not sure if it's going to make it. I got a really good deal on it at Home Depot, and then it got fried. I had it in too sunny of a spot. So I am hoping that it's going to make it, but it's looking kind of rough. We'll see. I hope it makes it, but I will not be surprised if it doesn't. But we will hope that it will. I will continue to give it tender, loving care and hope that it makes it. Red-headed coleus. I mean, holy cow, y'all. Look. And again, you can see it's in a tiny planter. I ended up having to empty one of these planters because it was on its way out with some other coleus and kind of wedge it between the two to keep it from blowing over. But I mean, look at this. Dipped in wine. We'll do this again. This is a fabulous coleus. Love it. Yeah, I'm letting them go to flower now because it's October. Which is something, I'm torn about this. I like the color, but it's too leggy, so I probably will not do that again. And you can see I rooted a couple of things. That campfire coleus, if I'd rooted it sooner, I probably would have had another humongous bush there. And this doesn't get a lot of sun. It has gotten more sun in the afternoon, though, in the last month. Banana peel Elysium there, Vanderwolf pine. Didn't think it was going to make it, but I think it is recovering now. Colorado blue spruce. I've got a camellia bush coming on great. Another Japanese maple from last year. We shovel pruned a smoke bush here. Hopefully this year I will be sure to prune the Bobo hydrangeas at the right time. I had one that bloomed a ton and one that barely bloomed at all. Sweet potato vine roots super easily. I will definitely, you saw the other big mound of that. I will do that again. Here is a humongous, let me see if I can zoom out. This is a humongous thing of rockin' pink salvia. I mean, look, y'all, this thing was super vibrant. Again, I should have videoed a week to 10 days ago. But you're missing all my blooms now. Again, my butterfly bush is all the hot pink. We might get one more flush maybe. Another Japanese maple, and then I also missed the peak with this. In fact, just 2 days ago, my asters were fabulous. I don't think they've dried out. I've kept this watered pretty well. I watered day before yesterday, but I guess they're short-lived. I've never grown asters, so. But you can see, I forget what this coleus is called, but it started out like not impressive at all. And now, look at it. At first, if you'd asked me 2 months ago, would I grow this again, I would have said no, but now I will definitely do this again. I wish it would overwinter, because look how nicely it blends in. There's actually 2 kinds here. I'm not sure what this one is, but this is the one that I really like with the pink. I will not do this again, but the pink, yes. But this just looked like a cloud of purple. The Beelicious Hummingbird Mint, I will do more of that next year. And you can kind of see the back side of the garden here. Plenty of leaves. And then we'll end here. Again, I missed my flush of Munstead Wood. The Joe Pye weeds kind of, it's end of season thing. This rose is going to get shovel pruned. This one will stay. I have a little blue boa. Some Rogue Bee Balm came back after 2 years, so I want to make sure I stay on top of that and not do the Bee Balm again. It just is not a good performer for me. But let's end on a good note. Look at this massive red-headed coleus. Y'all, this is like, I think 2, maybe 3 plants. She is a beast. And then, look at the dragon wing begonias. Again, these were gifted from a neighbor. They got these at Lady Slipper Nursery, which is a local nursery. And I had never grown this. I had no idea what I was doing. Yeah, just the two things I did, I watered well and fed them with Miracle Grow Bloom Booster. They're just incredible. So, none of these will overwinter for me, and I do not have a place to keep them. So, but I would like to grow these again next year. And what I would like to do is to have on the other side, and I might need to move Munstead Wood a little bit, although I don't want to move him much, so I might put it behind because he's happy there. But do like a complement, and then, you know, have the Joe Pye weed surrounded, like, you know, bookend. But I mean, my goodness, look at that. So yeah, I mean, I highly recommend Red-Headed Coleus. I think it does like the shade more than the sun. It will get heat wilt, but just water it and it's fine. I love it. This and Campfire and the Dipped in Wine, they are for sure my favorite. And then I like this. This is a trailer. Again, you saw some with the other Red-Headed Coleus earlier. This probably got a little bit more sun. So, I don't know. I like having this little planter here. Originally I did this planter here. It's a standing planter. Just to kind of give a backdrop, not realizing that this coleus would get that tall. So, next year I will be sure to put something low growing so that this can be showcased a little bit more. People can see it from the road. So, yeah. So, a lot of things have come out. Right now, I think I'm going to be doing more of my rockin' salvias. You know, more of these wonderful coleus. Some more, I think it's the unplugged salvia. I've never grown it, but I've seen it enough to know I want to try it. And probably, you know, do some more hummingbird mint, the Belicious hummingbird mints. I want to do some Gatsby pink hydrangeas, oak leaf, and some of the Let's Dance series. So that's probably what's going to end up coming here is more hydrangeas over here. We'll see. I have to make sure I get the ones that are right for the amount of sun or shade that come here. But anyway, I'm going to water everything here shortly. I have not watered since day before yesterday, whereas I was having to water every day. But this might be my last tour for the season. I might do one more. We'll see. But overall, it has been a successful gardening season. A lot of happy surprises. A lot of things did well that I didn't anticipate. Some things did not do as well as they did last year. I've tried a lot of new plants this year. And again, I have a vision for what I want to do next year. So some things will stay the same, but some things are going to be different. And I'm excited for next year's gardening season already. It will be sad. I'm ready for cooler weather. The summer is really hard on me because I have 2 autoimmune diseases. So the heat makes it much worse. I'm very thankful it's cooler today. And I'm ready for cooler weather, but I am sad to see this gardening season go. And, you know, we'll just pray that all of my trees and shrubs and things that should come back next year will make it through the winter safely. And we'll give things plenty of tender loving care. I do get out here and I water. We will remulch everything soon before we get a hard freeze, which won't be for a while, but still. And then anytime we get a special hard freeze, I do wrap things with landscape burlap and make sure I water in. But I will miss a lot of these things. Some of these, a lot of these that I love, I know will not be back. But I will be getting replacements for these annuals. This is the most annuals I've ever grown, and I want to. I've already been working on my budget, you know, for what I want to get for next year. So anyhow, I appreciate you staying with me for this long video. I hope that your garden season, if you garden, is ending on a good note. And whether you garden yourself or just enjoy seeing other people's gardens, I hope that you have enjoyed this tour, and that you have a pleasant evening wherever you are. Everybody take care, stay safe, and hopefully we'll chat soon. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.